This is modern homesteading.
I am a honeybee, shut out from the colony, and they won't let me in. So I left the hive.
You can see in here, it's hard to get areas there. That's the rough die grinder finish, but see all those rusty imperfections are taken out there. So that's about it for the rough grind. I think we're ready to polish. So here's the rough finish with the 60 grit. You can see starting to get a lot of the swirl marks out. It's polishing up real nice. Being careful to keep those hard edges on there. It's so cold that my roll lock machine is frozen up. So I'm not quite finished with the polish, but 90%. So let's take this inside and start thinking about putting an edge on it. So grinding a uniformed edge on this Adze has been really challenging because it's so ununiformed. I guess it's kind of wavy. I'm assuming this was, I don't know if it was hand forged, I don't know anything about it, but it is really, it has the look of that. So what I did was kind of set the angle that I desired here on my belt sander and laid this on here. Fortunately it was the correct width. And I just used this old ball peen hammerhead to give a little bit of extra weight on it, and it worked out about perfect. I just let this run for about 20 minutes or so and kept checking it. It never really got that hot. It got no hotter, didn't get so hot that I couldn't touch it with my fingers, so I'm not worried about the temper coming out of it. I don't know that this was the best way. This is just the only way that I could really think of doing it with the tools that I had. So we'll go over, I've been working on a little bit of the stone, but we'll finish it off with a 320 and then 1000 grit, and we should have a really nice even edge, as even as I can get it. So to finish this off and polish, I keep these two little stones that I use here, a 320 and 1000 grit, in a little jar of kerosene. The kerosene really works great, but I'm just now finishing it off with this 1000 grit, and it's really putting a nice polish on it. Of all the sharpening stones, the one that I really go to, the one I really like the most, are these flat stones. And many of you have asked where I've got them. I got these from Edge Pro. They're a knife sharpening company, not too far from here. And you could order those from him. They had an aluminum backing on them. That was just a kind of a spray adhesive, and as soon as I used the diesel, that backing came off. So you do have to be real careful because they are fragile. But these are my favorite for sharpening axes and blades. And so just a little bit more with this 1000 grit, and we're going to have a nice cutter. These edges, these corners might be a little bit fragile because of this is an impact tool, and if they do tend to chip off or break, then I'll grind a little bit more of a radius on here, but we'll see. I've never used an Adze before, so I'm kind of learning as I'm going here. So right or wrong, this method did produce a sharp edge. So I think That's pretty close. I think it's about ready for a handle. What a difference. Could use a little bit more polishing on it. It's so cold that my angle grinder is freezing up, so I can't use it very effectively. But as you can see, I got all those, got those pits out of there. Contoured that in there. Have a little, just you can see a little seam there and a little seam there. Not sure how this was, if that was welded together or melded. I'm not sure how this was built, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Still got to clean up the inside a little bit. There's a little bit of, you can see some hairline cracks in there. I don't think it's going to affect anything. I think it was probably that way in the forging process. This chamfer's turned out nice. I like the look of that. Real asymmetrical, organic look. I think it's pretty. It is sharp. I slipped the head on the new or the old handle here. The old handle is definitely usable. It's just a little bit checked, just a little bit weathered and old, but it would function. No problem. Could definitely clean it up and use it, but I want to make my own handle. What a beautiful tool that is. I've always wanted one of these. I'd like to have a couple. A hand Adze, one that was smaller, maybe about half this weight. It'd be nice to have one that has a curve on it for doing hollows, you know, like you would use for chipping out a canoe or a bowl. Always keeping my eyes open for those. They're hard to come by though.
Congratulations, you made it through part 2. I've picked out a couple of my favorite videos. If you click on the thumbnails at the top left, it'll take you to a video of a DIY bat house. If you click on the thumbnail to the bottom left, it'll take you to the habitat tree snag. The bottom left video was one of the most difficult videos that I've ever made. Trying to film that up in the tree while doing a work and topping a tree was uber challenging. So that's one that I share with you because it's one of my favorites. Again, if you haven't clicked on the thumbs up button, I invite you to do that now. It really helps our cause. And if you're a new viewer, I invite you to subscribe. I try to put up 3 to 5 videos a week and documenting our adventures and different projects on our homestead, and I hope you enjoy it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.